Yeah, it's Aaron Smith. Can't lose. Welcome back. Happy Friday, everyone. Last show of the year. I need a fucking break. I am tired. I am mentally, physically, emotionally, just. Ugh. I like everyone needs a break every now and again. So gonna take the rest of this year as off, which is about 8 days, and be back in February. So I guess that's like a month and 8 days that I'll be away. See family, hang out. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, anytime. I do bar mitzvahs too. But anyway, a lot to talk about, little time to talk about it. Let's just get to it. Obviously, we averted a shutdown for now. Trump did not get his wall. He's still complaining about it. Then I also saw something on, I think it was Facebook or whatever, one of these social things, and someone did a GoFundMe page for it. I'm like, they should have did it in the first place. I'm like, they let your supporters pay for that crap. Well, if that's the case, shoot. Nobody wants to for that. Right? Who's going to get a wall anyway? Mexicans are resourceful. They don't even understand that. You got tunnels and all kind of stuff. I mean, if El Chapo escaped the Mexican prison 2 or 3 times, then, what's to say that his regular people won't get it anyway? That's why he's here, so he can't escape. So, but a big shout out to El Chapo. He a Trump hater too. They're trying to railroad him and get his old friends and his like wife. I got a young, pretty wife too, and trying to get him to snitch on her to snitch on him, and it ain't happening. That man's a gangster. He's like the new Pablo Escobar, but ridiculous. Not much else going on with me personally. Like I said, I just exhausted. It's just in my face, and you hear my voice a little bit. I'm just like that, but we'll get through it, and just see how everything flows in here. You're gonna have to excuse me because I didn't have a show. I'm not very that prepared, so we're just gonna wing it and have ourselves a good old time. Got a couple people calling in. Hopefully they'll call in, and we'll just go from there. What else is going on? I did a big thing, or at least was trying to, for Satoya Brown, the young girl that's in prison right now, and I got a lot of good responses. Trying to get the word out. The information is on my Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. The information for the governor of Tennessee, his phone number, his email. Please, definitely, get the word out, because this girl does not need to be in jail for self-defense and basically trying to escape a life of hell. So I hope maybe by the new year maybe get her home. But it's crazy. People serve less time than anybody for more offensive crimes, and this girl gotta wait 51 years to be paroled, which is ridiculous. But then again, it's Tennessee, so I'm not too surprised. They're kind of ass backwards down there. But hopefully, this governor, I think he's going out of office. So I mean, what do you got to lose? I know a little something about that, but hopefully it'll work itself out. We'll see. Fingers crossed. Other than that, big shout out to Mayor de Blasio, who supports the legalization of recreational marijuana. I think he smoked himself. I think he said something about a while ago. It was a long time ago, maybe a couple of years. I'm not too sure. That he smoked in college. I mean, who didn't? But I mean, it's time, for people to not go to jail, just smoke a joint, stuff like that. They changed a lot of things in the city. Cops are not arresting people for that anymore. So they're going to have to go out and fight real crime. Poor them. But it should be a lot better than that, But like I said, You need to go after the real crimes and the hard drugs, and that's where the money really is. I mean, personally, I mean, I've friends and stuff like that, and that were into that. Not anymore, but you know, weed is weed, man. Weed is going to be here, even when we're not here. So it's here to stay. And then, like, even the people that used to smoke cigarettes and heavy tobacco smokers, or they switched over to weed, and and they're saying they're saving a lot of money. I mean, I don't even know how much a pack of cigarettes is anymore. I stopped smoking cigarettes like at least a year or two ago, but it's like it wasn't really a health thing. I just stopped. I just really wasn't into it anymore. And then again, it is kind of pricey. If you get the regular, the dummy packs, they're probably maybe like $7 or $8, but they're from out of state and all that. But if you get a New York State pack, it's got to be at least 12, maybe $14, and that's ridiculous. You could get a dime bag and a couple of roll ups, you'd be all right. That's just my personal opinion. But who knows what goes through people's heads, when they're smoking. I know nothing happens when I am. I'm just chill. I'm relaxed. They're lucky. I'm lucky I did this show today, because really, honestly, around this time, I'd probably be doing that right now. I enjoyed. I have a recommendation for video games. For a great stress reliever, you must play Friday the 13th. That game is awesome. Even if you're not playing Jason, because you have the option to do either or. And it's been out a year. It first started off online, then they did the platforms, all the major video game platforms, PS4, Xbox, even PC. But I like it. I mean, I'm a fan of the series, so I was going to get it anyway. But not to sound sick or anything, but it's really hilarious, how he grabs people's kills and stuff like that. But we'll get back to that. We have a caller. Hello, you're on the air.
Hello there, Mr. Aaron L. Smith. This is Dave Stern from the great city of Boston, Massachusetts.
Dave Stern, welcome back to the show. How you doing?
I'm doing just okay. How are you doing?
I'm here, man. Like I said, just enjoying this last show. Going to take some time off, relax, and enjoy myself, and not be bothered with stupidity. You know what I'm saying?
I hear exactly what you're saying, but if you're going to be among human beings, you're going to be bothered by stupidity.
You're absolutely right, but where I'm going is going to be minimalized, so I should be all right.
North Pole or South Pole?
Close. It'll be Florida. There's a bunch of old people, and realistically, they'll be in by 5 o'clock, so I'll be all right.
Yeah. Wait a minute, Aaron. I'm an old person. I'm
no,
out
you're not.
After 5. Come on.
You are not old. I'm talking about. We all know that Florida is God's waiting room, so that's what I'm talking about. 70s, 80s. Those people.
I hear you.
Those type of people.
What have you been up to, bud?
Like I said, just trying to maintain a cool head and relax and enjoy myself, and a lot of personal things going on. I rather not discuss them. I just ask people to just keep my family in your prayers and your thoughts, and just over the holiday season and everything. And other than that, I'm just still the same old me.
Absolutely, and I didn't know things were going on, and your family will be in my thoughts and prayers, and I hope everything's okay. As for me, I've been feeling better and better. I actually cooked dinner tonight,
Really?
if you can imagine.
Awesome. What did you make?
Well, I made a sort of a Chinese dish. It's beef, pea pods, mushrooms, with a kind of a garlicky sauce over sticky rice. I made it all. I am just a Renaissance man. Just ask me to do something, I could do it.
Can you get Trump out of office?
I could if I had the right ammunition.
Ooh. Right.
It's a joke, Donald. It's a joke.
I think you would have to get in line.
But that would be true.
Yeah.
That would be absolutely true. Did you hear that Justice Ginsburg was in the hospital?
Yeah, I heard something about that. Something about cancer surgery, something like that.
She had lung cancer surgery. Man, You want to talk
she's a
about having
smoker, huh?
somebody in your thoughts and prayers? Make Justice Ginsburg, put her in your thoughts and prayers. We need her to be in the Supreme Court for the next 2 years.
Yeah, big shout out to RGB. Hopefully
Mm-hmm.
she'll be all right. Thoughts and prayers to her. But lung cancer, was she a smoker?
I don't know. My wife had lung cancer over 20 years ago. She was a smoker, and she had similar kind of a surgery. They took out a lobe of her lung, and she's been around to hound me for the last 20 years or so.
That's awesome.
So I'm hoping that it's the same thing with Justice Ginsburg.
Right.
They said that they got it all and there's no other cancer in her body. So I've got my fingers crossed, and she's in my prayers as well.
Awesome. Shout out to RGB. Hopefully all goes well. She recovers well, because we will definitely need her, especially, with all this craziness going on.
Absolutely.
So I want to get your thoughts on the last adult leaving the White House, General Mathis, the outgoing Secretary of Defense.
I think we're in deep shit with him gone, because you're right. He is the last adult in the White House, and now that the kids have the field to themselves, I'm just afraid of what's going to happen.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I understand that all these guys that and females that left, but you took the job. You knew what was coming. You knew what you had to deal with. So my problem with that is, like, stick to your guns and run with it. But his administration's had the most people let go with, in less than 2 years. Like he can't keep anybody.
Isn't that amazing?
He can't keep anybody.
Isn't that just amazing? The number of people who've come and gone. You take a look at all of those other guys before him, and it's not just Obama that I'm talking about, but George Bush and Clinton and George Bush Sr., rest his soul, and and Reagan and Carter. None of them had this kind of coming and going. It's a fucking revolving door. And how can you make consistent policy if you're going to have a revolving door like that? It's crazy.
It doesn't. Yeah, it really doesn't make any sense. I mean, I told people, and I have friends, and we have this conversation every once in a while. I said, he can't run his the White House like he ran his company. This is a whole different ball game. You can't do that, and unfortunately, you can't tell him anything either. So I don't know. I really hope whoever's in there is not gung ho. Whoever's coming right after him for the Secretary of Defense. We're talking about General Mathis, because we're going to skip World War III. We're going to go straight to 9, if that's the case.
You are absolutely correct. It's just it is bleak. It is bleak. Especially the international outlook, because what Trump is doing is he's cutting all ties with our allies, and he's cozying up to our enemies, and I don't get it. I don't know why he thinks that his policies are going to benefit the United States, but I can see down the road that you want to talk about isolationism, we're going to really be isolated.
I mean, yeah, and it's coming to the point where it's like, it's bad. It's really bad, and it's really fucked up that he's turning his back on all our friends, all the people that would back us up regardless, and you're dealing with scumbags like Putin and that other jerk off in Saudi Arabia.
Bin something or other, and his son Prince Bin something or other.
Bindover.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. They're playing a game that deals with oil and oil production, and it baffles me. It just flabbergasts me that people don't see that. I expect also that if the Mueller investigation doesn't result in Trump resigning or some other way leaving the White House, I see that the Democrats in the House of Representatives are really our only hope. And I actually do have good feelings about Nancy Pelosi because she's been around a long time, and I have a feeling that she can maneuver politically with the likes of Donald Trump.
You think
Donald
so?
the Dump. That's what I call him.
You think Pelosi still has some like kind of, because quite honestly, I think she's like an old horse. She needs to be put to the pasture. Honestly, you need some new blue blood in there, and Schumer too. That's just my personal opinion. I think they both gotta go.
I don't disagree, but I think what we need to do is we need to bring the new ball players up from the minors slowly. And get them accustomed to making the big policy decisions and give them experience in making the policy decisions. The good news, I heard that it was Seth Moulton, who is a Massachusetts Democrat, held Pelosi's feet to the fire and made her promise to only serve 2 terms as Speaker of the House. That's assuming that the Democrats regain Congress in 2020.
Right.
That's a good thing. But by the same token, people may not realize this. I think Pelosi will be 82 in 2022, so her time will have come and gone. So I'd like to see her out of there in 2 years, and I'd like to see some new blood who have some experience in making policy and playing the political game. I'd like to see them in there outmaneuvering Donald the Dump.
Man, maybe that fine little thing, Ocasio-Cortez, maybe in a couple of years she'll be House Speaker. You never know, because she's a fireball. I like her.
I do too. I think she is a great for the Democratic Party. I think she needs a little seasoning before she gets there, but I think 2 years will do it.
She's still green, so it's going to take us some time, but she's going to get there. She's doing very good, and she even served yet, and she's already kicking ass. So big shout out to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Absolutely.
And
I'll give you a story that you'll think doesn't pertain, but it really does to the subject matter. There is a young comic in Boston who has been up maybe a total of 3 times, and he got in touch with a booker, and it started out as, well, why don't you book me for one of your feature spots? Now, he's done 3 open mics. His buddies were all there to laugh. That's fine.
Right.
That's how we all start.
Yeah, that's how we roll.
Don't go off. You don't go. First of all, I admire the guy's guts to be saying, okay, give me a 15-minute spot. But what happened after that was he started a pissing contest with this guy.
That's not smart.
And yeah, come on, dude. You don't have the experience yet. You may be the second coming of George Carlin, for all we know. But get out there and get the experience and meet some people and figure it out. That being said, that's what I would like to see some of our young Democrats do. I'd like to see them learn and get out there in 2 years and kick some Republican ass.
Yeah, God willing. Your lips to God's ears. Well, hopefully that'll happen. But what you talk about this comedy thing, this is the problem that I have with all these young and upcoming guys and gals. I gotta be politically correct, So
absolutely.
But like they'll go to a show, or friends will invite them to a show, and they'd be like, I can do that, and then like most of them really shouldn't, and that's my issue.
Yeah.
And you're right. And you do the open mics, and that's perfectly fine, and that's where you test out your stuff, and that's where most people go anyway, whether you're an amateur, whether you're a pro, whatever have you, and that's fine. My issue is that after a couple of times, if your stuff ain't sticking, and nobody's trying to catch it, and you're not getting any like real good laughs, it's time for a career change. It's like, I'm not saying I'm the greatest either, but I know when I bomb and when I fuck up. So that's when I go back to the drawing board. Okay, this worked, but this wasn't so funny. I got a couple of laughs out of that. Okay, how can we make this laugh? Because you got to be a little. You try not to be too general, but you have to have like some kind of broad base, because not everybody's going to laugh at the same thing. So you're going to have to stretch it out a little bit, maybe see what works here, what goes there, and have you like that. No, so, but I mean, for him to step on toes like that is not a good idea, especially in this business.
You're exactly right. And I counsel younger performers. I mean, I've been doing this for pretty much 7 years now, and I use open mics as my comedy lab. So I'll go out with and test out new jokes. And trust me, I always go to open mics as much as I can, because, as I said, it's my comedy lab. That's where I test things out. That's where I find out if people laugh, what they're laughing at when I'm presenting it. And for example, the Santa Claus thing that I did.
That was gold.
I tested that out for not for a very long time, but I tested it out enough so that I knew after the first stanza of that thing, people laughed. They laughed in the middle of the second stanza, and this is a good thing. It tells me. I brought it out. Let's see, it was Tuesday of this week to the Winner's Circle up in Salisbury, Massachusetts, a show that I'm booked on every 4 or 5 weeks, and it went over great. Why? Because I tested it out first in my comedy lab, the open mic. And if you treat them like that, if you treat them with respect, they'll treat you with respect back. And the same thing goes for other comedians too, as a matter of fact. I don't have a whole hell of a lot of enemies in this business, and
I do.
That's
well, but that's on them. That's on them. That's for another show.
Exactly. You're an outspoken dude, and if they don't like it, well, they can place it where the sun don't shine.
Exactly.
Me, I'm just a dirty old man.
Nothing wrong with that. I mean,
well, you heard that song of mine. Yeah, I'm a dirty old man.
Well, for the people that were not fortunate to hear that episode, is it okay if you sing that again for us?
Oh, absolutely. Are you kidding? You're asking me to perform? Oh, man.
Yeah, let's go for it. Why not?
I got to get in voice.
That was great. All right, you need a couple of need a couple of those.
Well, you see, Christmas season is on us, and, I love all of the sparklies and the trees and the decorations and all of that. And I especially like going down to my grandchildren's house. I have 3 little grandchildren. Well, they're not so little anymore. The oldest is 12, and the twins are 10. So I went down last weekend, and I sang them a Christmas song, and it goes exactly like this. Oh, you better watch out. You better not cry. You better not pout. I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is dead. There will be no list. There will be no toys. You've wasted your time being good girls and boys, 'cause Santa Claus is dead. He had sky-high cholesterol, sky-high blood sugar, too. His doctor said, you'll have a stroke. But Grandpa said, fuck you. Oh, you better watch out. You better not cry. You better not pout. I'm telling you why, 'cause Santa Claus is dead. Now, kids, imagine for a minute if you got passed over for the lead reindeer job by some newbie, some inexperienced guy who just wore rouge on his nose. You wouldn't be happy. Well, I could tell you the reindeer weren't happy either. And what if you were an elf? Those poor elves, Santa kept on whipping them to get more and more toys. Santa didn't realize how the world's population of children was growing exponentially. The poor elves did. They hated Santa Claus. And Mrs. Santa Claus, well, she knew why Rudolph got that promotion. She knew what was going on in the barn behind the workshop. So he had a great big heart attack. It blew out of his chest. There won't be any gifts this year, which Grandpa thinks is best. Oh, you better watch out. You better not cry. You better not pout. I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is dead. You think that'll get me on Conan?
The barbarian or the comedian? Because I'm not. I would love that either way. That's freaking awesome. But Dave, you got any shows coming up, bro?
Actually, I'm taking the rest of the holidays off. I've been. I'm going on to a show on January 1st, the night of January 1st, New Year's night, called The First 100 Jokes, and that's 100 comedians. It's at Improv Boston. Which, ironically enough, is not in Boston. It's in Cambridge. So there'll be 100 comedians doing their first joke of 2019, and all I have to do is write a new joke, which, who knows? And after that, I've also been asked to return up to the Winter Circle. I'm setting the date on that, and I'll be looking for new opportunities as the month goes on. And I hope that you're getting stuff, Aaron, because you're a fine fellow. I'm not your enemy.
Oh God, I hope so too. I hope 2019 is a lot better. I hope people get their panties out of their bunch or their boxes out of their bunch, or whatever have you. But Dave, thank you so much for calling in. I appreciate it. I hope to work with you for next year.
You're welcome. I will talk to you again. Have a great Christmas, Kwanzaa, or Festivus, whichever. Hanukkah's gone, so you can't do that.
Right.
Have a great New Year, and I hope nothing but the best for you and your family. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. You too, boss. Thank you. Dave Stern, ladies and gentlemen. We have another caller. Hello, you're on the air.
Hi, Aaron.
Hey, Michelle. What's going on? Michelle Sanchez-Sterheim from Spectrum Warriors, Inc.
Spectrum Warriors, yes.
How's it going?
My.
So we wanted
stuff has been going on.
Man, listen, you already know. But we're gonna talk about. We did try to follow up with you, and I know there's not a lot you can say because it's a lot of like legalities and stuff like that. But
well, I will say that earlier this week I had the pleasure of speaking with our mayor.
Bill de Blasio.
And yes. Boy, is he tall.
Yeah, he's like 6'5".
I listen. I felt like I was in Munchkin Land. Yeah. I got to tell him some stuff. The stuff that Spectrum Warriors is doing. He took my business card.
Awesome.
Discussed, the stuff with NYPD and autism training, and he's gonna go and follow up on that. Mm-hmm. And Remy Salas, who is the director of Manhattan for the mayor's office, prompted me to let the mayor know what's going on with the busing and my child. Yeah. So, I gave him all the information. And, he told me that he would have somebody follow up. He had all these people come and talk to me. And, sometimes you just get a little jaded and you're like, yeah, okay, right? Well, okay, it was Tuesday afternoon. By Wednesday morning, I had a bunch of emails. And
you don't play around when it comes to that. So I already know you're already on the ball with it. So that's good. That's good that they got promptly
following up completely with that bus company because, I don't think I had the chance to tell you. We had an interesting incident that happened just the other day.
Oh, boy.
Where the driver happened? And the matron, they parked in front of the school. They were about 20 minutes or so early, right?
Okay. All right. It's better to be early than late. All right.
Yeah, you would think. Mm-hmm. Thank God, again, that my child has a transportation para because these two took it upon themselves to turn up the bus, get off the bus, and disappear for about 15, 20 minutes.
With kids still on the bus?
With kids still on the bus.
Yeah, that was smart of them.
So what I did was, well, Isaiah, bless him, he called me to tell me what was going on. I said, do me a favor, take some photos, send them to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I did, right? I forwarded those photos.
To the mayor's office.
Mm-hmm. So everybody that's involved. So.
It's like that song. Damn it. Garth Brooks, "Low People in High Places." I swear that's what you are. That's what you know. Like, seriously. Yeah.
You can't make this stuff up. I mean, real life is just stranger than fiction. But it's really distressing to know that this is the kind of stuff that's going on. And if it's going on my child's bus, how many other buses are doing this? Just leaving the kids, abandoning them. And again, we're talking about a bus full of autistic children.
I can only imagine. It's like...
It's cold. Like, my son was crying and whimpering because it was cold as hell.
You could at least put the heat on the bus.
Turned off the heat, everything, turned it off, decided you were going to go, and came back with your coffee, the two of you.
And then get nobody else nothing. What's up with that? The nerve. I don't know why people, like I told you before, I don't know why people take these jobs, because it's like, fuck everybody else. I'm just gonna do what I do. I mean, you can't do that with children, period, but especially children who are autistic. They get behaviors, they have triggers, they have things that, what's going on. They get cold. More than other kids. Like, everything affects them. They didn't seem to understand that. These people need some special training, man. Like, something.
Well, I did mention that to the mayor as well. I let it be known because I did offer training to the bus company for their drivers and matrons.
Right.
And they refused. So now let's see.
Figures. But if it was a requirement to keep their job, they would do it. I'm disgusted. And, just because you're a bus driver and a matron doesn't mean that you should not be held up to a certain standard. Exactly.
Especially when you have the most precious cargo, children in general. But then not only is my son and the kids on his bus, they're children, but they're children with special needs. And some of them have, dual diagnoses, right? You could have autism, but you might also have, like, a feeding tube or something. Mm-hmm. So what the heck? Like, it's you can't make this stuff up.
You definitely can't. I mean, people in Hollywood couldn't write better scripts than this shit. I don't understand, like I said, why you take a job knowing that these things are out there and these things can happen, and you just don't leave a fucking bus full of kids,
just stroll off
and like it's nothing. I mean, like what was the logic in that? Like, what was going on in their brain stem or like whatever have you? Like,
I mean, you get in trouble for leaving your dog in the car.
Yeah.
So I want to see. I'm holding everybody accountable now. Everybody knows. So the people from the Department of Education, the director of pupil transportation, heck, even our mayor. I met you. I spoke with you. You know what's going on. You said you were going to address it. Now I'm holding you accountable to a higher standard. Now I expect results because it's not only my child.
Mm-hmm. I know you've been a busy bee. I know I definitely got to get you down here sometime next year, and hopefully maybe somebody from the mayor's office so we can, get to put the word out a little bit more. That'd be great, and maybe that'll happen. You never know.
Put it out to the universe. I mean, hey,
well,
I've been pretty much flying by the seat of my pants at this point.
Well, anybody that's watching this, please like, share, and follow the broadcast. Aaron L. Smith is the YouTube channel, and I'm also on Facebook, Aaron L. Smith, the Aaron Smith on IG. Okay, that's enough plugging.
Spectrum
So
Warriors Inc. on Facebook,
yeah, damn right.
on Twitter, and on IG.
Yeah, I gotta get you. I gotta get your shit into. So yeah, definitely we're gonna work on that.
So we have some amazing things going on. Um, and I've recently connected to another precinct that's near one of the private schools that I'm connected to.
My favorite gang
Again,
in
just
NYPD. They're the best. They're the best gang in the world. What?
You know what though? It's all about the kids. It's all about the kids who become adults. And if they have the positive experiences, and if we can get some kind of the stuff that I've submitted passed, then we'll have officers walking around with text emergency boards. They'll have social stories for each precinct, and the children will be familiarized. You know what I'm saying? It's the little steps that are needed because, God forbid, a child wanders off. I don't want a child. I'm sick of these babies ending up dead.
Yeah, and
I'm really sick of them ending up dead. It's gut wrenching. It's not even my biological child, and I'm sitting there hysterical because
any child that
we are a village.
Well, any child that dies prematurely is not cool at all, on any circumstance. But especially those who are autistic. And like I said, if you really are that type of person that really don't care, don't really got a heart and all that stuff, you shouldn't be in education. You should be working with children. Period. I mean, go flip burgers at McDonald's. I heard sanitation is hiring. You don't like people at all. Funeral home is always hiring. Like I said, you just work with a bunch of stiffs in the room. But anyway, so I mean, like, seriously, like, what? I don't understand. Like,
I don't
why?
understand the thought process.
Like, why?
There is no
I'm just gonna go get coffee. I'm like, why didn't you do this before you got on your shift?
The lovely thing, just yesterday, my son turns around and tells me that he saw the bus matron and driver. The matron had her phone, and of course she's not paying attention to the children. She's scrolling on Instagram or Facebook or whatever.
Got to get that tweet in.
My child's like, she's looking at inappropriate photos of girls and showing them to him.
Oh Lord.
So I'm like, this is going on while he's driving? Are you kidding me?
They got brakes for that? Oh, God. Gee, damn it.
And if there are any parents listening, really, be more alert. Be on point. Start paying attention to things because you don't know what's going on the bus.
Yeah, you never know. And, a lot of autism children, some of them are nonverbal, so they don't know how to communicate.
Listen, I have a family that the child, I had mentioned this to you in passing, that the child, bit they had a transportation para, and they bit the transportation para, and the para assaulted this child, like left his face lumped up and everything.
Oh my God.
And there have been no charges brought.
It needs to be.
And surprisingly, the matron on the bus saw it go down and gave a statement. They provided a statement, okay? And then it goes deeper than the child just biting, because this person was sticking their fingers in the child. Like, you're sticking your dirty fingers in my mouth, I'm going to bite you too. Like, come on, man. This is the kind of stuff that's going on a day-to-day basis.
That's disgusting.
So you know what? I'm calling out people. Mr. Mayor Bill de Blasio, pay attention to what's going on. I want our legislation to pay attention. I want everybody to pay attention. Heck, NYPD, I'm giving y'all the training. I'm giving y'all the tools. Pay attention to what's going on, because these kids, they're not just going to decide on the whim. I just feel like biting somebody today. I just feel like hitting somebody today.
No, that's just part of the behavior. So there's nothing you can do about that. I've been bit before. Like, I used to work with autistic kids. I've been bit before. I mean, the shit hurt, but like, fuck it.
But you know what? There's something that happens prior to that happening. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not a big fan of ABA, but if you want to follow the ABAs, there's the antecedent, which is whatever happened before the behavior, and then the consequence. Well, what happened before this behavior occurred? It could be a simple case of, I got a kid who I work with that, the socks bother them, the seam of the socks. So you got to turn the socks inside out. And Mom forgot to turn the socks inside out one day, and that seam was bothering them, and then everything else, the fluorescent lights.
Yeah, it's always a little
somebody
thing.
talking over them with coffee breath. I discovered this kid doesn't
I don't
my
like
coffee
people with
breath,
coffee breath either.
Huh?
I don't like people with coffee breath either, and it's coffee and Newport breath combination. Oof, Jesus Christ! But I've been bit before, and I've done the ABA. I did the ABA and all that stuff. I worked with autism kids a couple many years ago, and I would talk to the parents. I'd be like, "What's going on? What happened today? He's all right?" and stuff like that. So that's what you got to do.
You know, there's you have to have a certain mindset. You have to. These people are just being thrown in, and they need better training because when you step into the world, guess what? Stuff happens.
Mm-hmm.
I have gotten a black eye. I almost had my nose broken. I've had my hair pulled, got bit, kicked, you name it. It's happened.
Right.
And I'll be damned if I'm ever going to raise my hand to a child because there was something that happened that led up to it where I may have missed a cue.
Mm.
It's just, you know, I mean, I have a kiddo that he likes to go and jab people in the eye, right? So, you know, the ongoing joke is,
like mother,
I'm
like
going to lick your eyeball.
like
you
son,
know,
like mother.
I just made the threat. I was like, I'm going to lick your eyeball. And didn't dare to do it. You know what it was? It's the reaction. He liked the, you know, he thought the reaction of jabbing somebody in the eye was funny. And if you think about it, yeah, it is kind of funny.
Yeah.
But you're not going to do that to me. Why? Because I'm going to lick your eyeball.
Right. Hilarious.
I probably shouldn't be saying this on the air, but you know what? It is what it is. Did I do it? No.
Well, just be like me
and had a pause in the thought process. You know, hell, I've had my shoe taken off my foot. Oh, wow. And, like, we've had to go and chase after my shoe because there's a kiddo who, you know, liked my shiny shoe.
Right. I mean, it's fine. I mean, these are kids. I mean, they don't know what's going on. They just, you know, just react to certain things. So, I mean, like I said, people got to get better training. Definitely, for real.
We need to do better. And, you know, I don't know if you've seen the statistics have changed. It's no longer 1 in 59. It's 1 in 40. So now if you think about it, damn near every classroom, even general education, we got at least one in every classroom now. And then, you know, there are people who are freaking out because the numbers are changing. And I'm like, yeah, well, it's that. But you also got to take a step back and look at the bigger picture because we also have people from our older generation who are just now finally getting a proper diagnosis. So you got to factor in everything, like across the board. Right. But if it's 1 in 40, how many people do you walk by in the street? You know, you're walking down the street. How many people do you walk by in a day? We got to do better.
Well, I try not to walk. I try to stay at home, you know, and stay away from certain people.
Yeah,
but,
you heard it.
But last couple of weeks, I mean, like, you know, since I came back from Florida, I haven't been out. But I definitely feel you on that. And, you know, we don't know until we know. But before we we find out we know, we have to be ready. We have to be better prepared. So yeah, I definitely agree with that. And,
you know, the community, I keep saying, like, families, especially, I've gone through it, right? You get a diagnosis, and then, you know, you have now a name for what's going on, right? But the way your community reacts to your child makes you want to take your child and just keep them safe. Right. So keeping your child safe from all the comments, you go into, like, this, you become a hermit, and you don't go out. And I keep saying it takes a village to raise a child, but it takes a child with autism to raise the consciousness of the village. And, you know, I'm all for educating. You know, my daughter, she had a severe meltdown today, coming off the bus. She had to be carried off the bus and everything. And bless this woman's heart, there's a woman who lives in my building. While everybody else was gawking and making all these comments, she just went with the flow. You know, she was talking to me calmly. My daughter's screaming and in full crisis. And she looked at me, she goes, she's having a hard time. And I said, yes, ma'am, she is. And before she can ask, because she started to, and I was like, she's autistic. And, you know, we can't have this conversation right now. But if you catch me when I'm without her, when she's having a good day, and, you know, there's nothing going on, we can definitely have a conversation. And I can give you information, and I can explain it to you. And I appreciate that. What I don't appreciate is all the damn, oh, yeah, she's too big to be doing that. Oh, she needs to get her ass whooped. Like, stop. Just stop. I want the village, but the village needs to be aware. And the village needs to have some compassion for the kids.
Yeah, I think a lot of villages are ran by the idiot, and that's the problem.
The-
And
You are from your lips to God's ears. You
that's
are not lying.
no one gives a crap until it's convenient for them to give a crap, and that's
Until
that.
exactly until it's somebody in their family,
You
and then all of
know,
a sudden,
they all
you
please
know,
poor me, give me. I'm like whatever, but yeah,
just like I not too long ago, I had I was on the strike accord for autism, and we were on BronxNet TV, and they were asking me about awareness, and see, awareness is dangerous to autism families because awareness is a feel good for the rest of society, right?
of
You got
course,
Autism Awareness Day,
all about
Autism
numbers.
Awareness Month,
Hmm.
right? But let's be real about it. Most people, it's not even the whole month. Some people, it's just one day. They slap on a ribbon, they wear something blue, they change a light bulb, and that's my awareness.
Yeah, it's like Ralph Wiggum. I'm helping, so
Yeah, yeah, you're not. I don't
yeah.
want awareness. I want acceptance. I want understanding. And I want to be able to bring my child out into my community and to integrate. Because at the end of the day, these children grow up into adults. And we want them to be able to be, part of society.
Right. I mean, something has to change. It's gonna be gradual change. It may be very slow, but it has to happen. At the end of the day, I mean,
I'm fighting hard for it.
I know you are, and
And
you have a.
even when I do the little community events like the trunk or treat, I make sure that everybody in the community knows. Yes, it's targeted for my kiddos, but you know what? If you bring your kid, then your kid could be next to my kid. You understand what I'm saying? And then, they'll start to get a better understanding. But, it also starts at home. If you have negative language that you use, you know what I'm talking about, and you have negative views, you're projecting them onto your child. The same goes with racism. And, children aren't born racist.
Damn sure aren't. I mean, they don't see color. They just wanna play. They wanna.
That's just my friend. That's all I know. That's my friend.
Exactly.
And that brings me back to the bus driver and the matron. Like you're Spanish. Why do you have it in for my child's transportation para just because he's a black man? What the hell's wrong with you?
Well, you and I already had this conversation,
And
and
it pisses me off. It really
and
does.
there's
And
nothing you. I mean,
it takes everything in me to not go and snatch that man out of his driver's seat.
well,
But
you got.
I'm better than that.
Well, yeah,
I
not.
got too much going on.
Yeah, you don't. It's not worth the risk for some one twat box, or a cunt bubble, what have you. But please, like I said, at the end of the day, they were taught that when they were young. They had to be. I mean, they like I said, like you said, no one's born racist, and I mean, I joke around. I call white people honky and crack and all that stuff, but that's just joking around. Like some of, I could pull a Trump. Some of my best friends are white, but but all jokes aside, but like it's about when you're young and what their parents were teaching them, because those parents,
Exactly.
those grandparents had to teach their parents the same thing. And it's a vicious circle. I mean, there's certain things that you can learn from the outside, but it starts at home, and that's the issue that in the lives of people. And this is, I mean, like, your special, Paul Mooney, joke. I know Paul Mooney is one of my idols, and his famous joke was, I'm special. The Spanish people, they think they're special. Like, why? Because you were dropped off first. So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter where you come. That's a whole other show. Like, that's something I would probably have to do like a whole 2 hours on or something.
Yeah.
But and I may offend some people, and that's perfectly fine. You are entitled to your opinion. But you have to
You
remember
know
that this
what?
is
We live
Aaron
in a
Smith can't
society where
lose.
everybody's offended. I'm offended that you're offended by my offensiveness that offends you.
Well, remember, this is Aaron Smith can't lose. So you could be offended all you want. I really don't care. Like I care enough to have people have difference of opinion, and that's fine. But if you're gonna shout at me and bark at me and try to do all that stuff, I'm gonna give you the old 3-strike rule. And usually around strike 2, I give you a full count. And once that full count has, I suggest you leave because no one wants to get to strike 3 with me.
I hear that. Well, you know how I am.
And like I said, I've been so good. Like I said, I've gone off the rails and I've done stuff like that. But that this is how I feel. This is in my heart. This is my compassion. Like I said, comedy is my passion. I enjoy being on stage and making people laugh and having a good time being around good people and joking stuff. Like the problem with it is it's especially like things you deal with in your community and your job. I deal with similar shit. And it's
it's the same coin, just different sides of the coin, hon.
And
it really is.
Like people, you really expect me to continue to deal with this? I'd rather step away than put this size 11 up your ass, because at the end of the day, it's not worth it. And it's a point where it's like I had to take a step back, had to talk to family, had to talk to friends. Be like, no, Aaron, that's not cool. Don't do that. I said, that's one of my friends said, that's funny as hell, though. That's a good idea, but no, don't do that. But I will not go into detail for what I was going to do. But anyway,
of course not.
The views and the opinions of Aaron Smith do not show the Flow Empire Network. It's just all Aaron Smith. But anyway, so.
But you know what? I deal with. Listen, I'm not going to name agencies, but there's so many agencies out there, organizations that claim that they are there to support the population that I work with, and really, they leave them high and dry.
It's about numbers for them.
It's a number.
It's not about
change
or
not a number. Your child has once you come to me, your kid is now my kid.
Right.
So the same way that I fight for mine, I'm fighting for yours. I mean, I've had IEP meetings where not even my child, and they call school safety on me because I went off because I don't agree with certain things that they were trying to pull, and it's just it's across the board.
And what school safety is going to do? Escort you to the outside of the building? That's all they can do.
It ended up being somebody who knew me, so I won't say no more than that.
Well, that was a few years ago. I'm pretty sure I mean, like with you know pretty much everybody. So if you don't know that person probably knows somebody that knows you. So I don't know what people keep trying that on you. It's hilarious when they do. Yeah, it's really funny.
And so if anybody knows anybody who is receiving busing from Pride Transportation, please be vigilant. Pay attention to what's going on.
Yeah, definitely.
Seriously,
if you're a parent, especially an autistic parent, you have to have vigilance. That's got to be your number one thing. Out of anything. So, like, share, follow this video, follow Michele, Spectrum Warriors Inc. Give your information one more time, sweetheart.
Michele Sanchez-Sterheim on Facebook, and Spectrum Warriors Inc. on Facebook, Spectrum Warriors on Instagram, and Spectrum Warriors on Twitter.
Awesome. You can also check the show on IG with the Aaron Smith and Aaron L. Smith on Facebook. And you can also find out Aaron L. Smith on YouTube. We will be I'll probably uploading the video probably a little later, but the live stream will be on Facebook even as this show ends. So Michele, like I said, you have a platform. You're welcome anytime. You're welcome to fit anytime. And hopefully we can get you.
And thank you for supporting Spectrum Warriors and the autistic community.
I anytime, sweetheart. Like I said, we've been helping each other and be good friends for a long time. So you don't have to thank me. It's an honor and a privilege to do so.
Thank you.
All right. So enjoy your weekend. I am going away
You as well?
Sunday, so I will see you definitely when I come back, and
Okay.
we'll pick up where we left off.
Definitely.
All right. So you have a good night.
All right. Have a good weekend, everybody. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever.
Yeah. You too. All right. Take care, love. So I look back at these 3 months that I've been on this journey with you, and it's been interesting. It's been fun. It's been a little hard. Just sitting here and just running my mouth. I thought it would be all right. I think it wouldn't be a big deal, but it's a lot different from being in front of an audience, and a lot of different from, walking around and telling jokes, and having a serious conversation, and not just also just being about comedy. I mean, that's always been the one passion that always be in my heart. But community issues, social issues, that's something I definitely also want to work on some more in 2019. And yes, I'm hard-headed. Yes, I'm bullheaded, but I have a good heart, and I stick to my guns, and I really want to work with people that may not want to work with me, but I'm willing to meet people in the middle as well. Like I said, I've told people many times before, like I said, I don't have to like you, but if you're funny, I'm gonna book you because you're gonna make money and I'm gonna make money. We're all gonna get that paid. And it's not about that. It's about, business. And you have to separate business from being personal. And that's what I'm going to learn in 2019. That's one of my goals. May not happen, but I'm going to work on it. And that doesn't change how I feel about certain people. Not at all. But like I said, if you're willing to meet me halfway, I'm willing to meet you halfway. And if not, well, fuck you too. But anyway, I've had a great time. I want to give a shout out to David here at Empire Network, Floyd Empire Network, all the engineers. You've been great. All the guests that came through for all these months. Shout out to Dave Stern for calling in, Michele Sanchez for calling in. Gotta get this word out about this autism community and making it stronger. We can start. I like to start right here in my backyard in New York City. That's also one of my goals. So I like to thank everybody for listening and watching and tuning in. And happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa. Hanukkah just passed to all the Jewish people out there, and to all the atheists out there. Enjoy your weekend. This is Aaron Smith. Can't lose. I'm out. See you next year.